transmission. Radio Rebellion.
There we go. Welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. How are you guys doing? Had a little trouble with the intro. You know what? I'm going to show it again because I don't think it worked. And I like this intro. So let's play it again real quick for you guys. Give me 1 second. If you would indulge me, hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm sure you guys don't. So just give me 1 second. Let's play this real quick.
Incoming transmission. Radio Rebellion.
There we go. Welcome to the Rebellion, another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. How is everyone doing? That episode, we're going to talk about it. Oh man, spoilers. This is going to be a full spoiler on review of Chapter 11, the Heiress on Mandalorian Chapter 11. Oh man, how many times have you guys watched it already? I've only watched it twice, which I know is on the low end compared to everyone out there. I'll watch it again later today, most likely, and tomorrow and in the days to come. But what an episode. I know last week was a little bit controversial. There were a lot of people that had issues with it, the way that Baby Yoda ate Frog Lady's egg and what that meant. Some other people didn't see it that way. I expressed my thoughts on Twitter about it. I'm not going to go into it here now, but basically, you don't have to be outraged by it. If it does, we all consume Star Wars in a different way. We take different meanings from everything that we watch. We feel different connections with it. And that's why I love Star Wars so much, because we all take it in differently, and we shouldn't negate someone's feelings about it. So if some people didn't like the episode for whatever connotations or what they felt about it, that's fine. Let's listen to them and have a positive discussion about it. And if you didn't feel anything, then that's good. So that's it. That was last week, chapter 10. But today, chapter 11, we're going to be discussing that one. Plus, we're continuing with our look back at the movies with our rewind segment, as we will go and revisit Rogue One, a Star Wars story. But before all that, thank you guys that are watching this live on the chat. As always, thanks for taking a few minutes, a few hours, just 1 hour, hopefully an hour and 15 minutes this Saturday evening to spend with me here talking Star Wars, talking Mandalorian, Rogue One, and everything. So if you don't mind, as always, just give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. Leave us a comment down below if you are watching this later on the replay. Make sure you're subscribed to the Radio Rebellion Podcast YouTube channel so you don't miss any new episodes. And if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, or even if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, make sure to go to Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Leave us a rate, review, 5 stars if you don't mind. If you want to do 4, 3, as always, it doesn't matter. But it helps. It helps to know that people are listening, that they are enjoying the episodes that we're putting out. And if we need to make any changes, make them a little bit better, so just let us know. So yeah, with that said, how are you guys doing? It's been quite a week. Like I said at the beginning, last Saturday or last Friday, all the way till yesterday, there was a lot of divisiveness in the Star Wars community. But we're back. I tweeted out late on Thursday. I think my expectations for Chapter 11 is that we're all gonna be back. We're all gonna be one Star Wars unity, loving the Mandalorian as we always do. And I think we're back. I think yesterday's episode, haven't, yeah, it was great. So you know what? Let's jump on it right now. Let me do something real quick. Let me say hi to a few friends out there. Tony, Mr. Rez, how you doing? Fist bump to you also. And our friend, the Monkey Lizard Army, as always, showing support. Salacious from, how you doing? Thanks for joining us here today. And we're going to have some fun with the Heiress, Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian, of course, and also talking in a few minutes about Rogue One. And let me do this real quick. My graphics, for some reason, are backwards, but it doesn't matter. Well, there we go. This is what I was looking for. But of course, I'm not showing my screen, but it doesn't matter. I can get there real quick. And hope everyone is doing great today. And there we go. So let's talk this week in Mando review. So like I mentioned earlier, we are doing a spoiler-heavy review of Chapter 11 of The Mandalorian, The Heiress. So this is one of those things that once you see that title, once you hear that title, because of course it was out there, you can't escape it. I tried staying off Twitter yesterday, all of social media. I made a mistake, and it's on me. Go on YouTube real quick just to check some of my own videos. But as soon as I clicked on it, I saw a picture, and it was a picture of Bo-Katan, which dang it. So it got spoiled, but not really, because I've always said of all the rumors out there, of all the characters that might show up, Bo-Katan for me was the one that made the most sense because of the history with the Darksaber. So yes, I got spoiled a little bit, but I expected her to show up at some point. Hi to Force of Light Entertainment, Michelle and Natalie. How are you guys doing? I gotta go watch your review of Mandalorian Chapter 11 that came out earlier this morning. I haven't had a chance yet, but most likely after I'm finished here, if not early tomorrow, I'll give you guys video a look. So you guys are always putting great content out there. Do you get to 200 subscribers? I know you were trying to get there a few days ago. If you did, congratulations. If not, make sure people are following you guys. So thanks for joining us. All right, so yes, I heard the Heiress was the name of the title for the episode a little bit before I watched it. And I kind of started thinking, okay, it's more likely that Bo-Katan is going to show up. Then I saw that picture on YouTube, and it was like, yeah, she's going to be there. Again, doesn't matter. We expected it to happen at some point, and it happened early. That's one thing. I was going to wait till later. One thing that I really love about The Mandalorian from season 1 to now season 2 is that they don't do a lot of cliffhangers for important things. Baby Yoda, we met him episode 1. It was a cliffhanger, but it was episode 1. Baby Yoda's there. We're gonna go with him all the way. Then we saw Darksaber and all that stuff. Season 2, first episode. You want a Boba Fett? Boom, there's Boba Fett. Cobb Vanth that we all thought was coming. And now episode 3, here is Bo-Katan, and then the Jedi who gets named at the end, Ahsoka Tano. So everything's happening so quickly that I can't imagine what the rest of the season is going to be. We're 3 episodes in, we have 5 more to go. So there's so much that we still have to experience. I think everything that has been shown that was shown on the trailer, except for the troopers on the speeders that go off the cliff chasing, I'm guessing, Mando. That's the only thing we haven't seen from the trailer. Everything else has already been shown. So from this point forward, everything should be a surprise, and I am very excited about that. And let's say hi to another one of our friends, Cat Vader Girl 28. How you doing, Cat? Thanks for joining us. And again, congratulations to Force of Light, because they did get to 200 subscribers. So let's keep going. Let's keep getting you guys up. It's gonna be great. We all one family here doing Star Wars podcasting and YouTubing. It's no competition. We all feel happy and great when our fellow Star Wars fan get to those great numbers. So congratulations. All right, so let's start, because we've been talking for 10 minutes and we haven't started really talking too much about it, but more friends are coming in. Dale, how you doing, Dale? Hi, Dale. Saying hi to Kat, myself, and Michelle. So yes, Dale, thanks for joining us. So yeah, so I saw 32 minutes before the episode started, and was, oh dang it, it's only 32 minutes, the shortest one on the season. We've been going down. We started with, I think, 52 minutes the first one, then about 45 or 43 minutes the second episode, and now we're down to 32 minutes, including the intro to the show, a little preview of what happened first. So maybe a 30-minute episode. We're back to season one numbers. So I got a little bit bummed. By the end of it, like I tweeted earlier today, it doesn't matter. It's quality. We don't care about quantity. Give me quality. Those 30 minutes might be my favorite 30 minutes of The Mandalorian. And I know it's hard because episode one was a great episode. Some of the episodes on the first season were great. Episode three also of season one. But this is up there, top three, top four the most. Maybe my favorite one, but some of my favorite scenes were in this episode. So yeah, length doesn't matter. Just give us a good story, and that's all that we need. So it starts with the Razor Crest, as we had seen it in the trailer, just limping to this planet, which we now know is called Trask. This is where Frog Lady, or friend Frog Lady, I wish she had a name. Maybe in one of those visual dictionaries she'll get a name. But we see the Razor Crest limping to Trask. The cargo bay door is open, the engines are blown. They're just trying to make it. And then it says we have our landing array isn't working. We'll have to just manually go into the planet, go through atmosphere, and we have enough fuel to make the landing. And then we have this great intro scene, this great action scene, which we learned later that is an homage to Apollo 13, which was directed by Ron Howard. And this episode, we learned at the end of the episode, was directed by his daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard, who also directed episode 4, Sanctuary, on season 1, which was another great episode that some people have some issues with it because it's a slower episode, but it's a great, great episode. And there's been a lot of talk on Twitter to give Bryce Dallas Howard a Star Wars movie, maybe Solo 2, a Disney Plus movie. I mean, she's deserved it. The 2 episodes that she's done have been incredible, and this one just takes it to another level. So someone posted on Twitter if it was an homage to a scene in Apollo 13 when the capsule is returning to Earth, and she did come out and say that yes, it was a straight homage to it. So it's a great scene. We have the Razor Crest entering into the atmosphere. Mando's trying to hold it together. He tells Frog Lady, hey, I need your hands up here to help me keep this lever back. She goes to help, but at the same time, looking back, making sure her egg canister is not falling, keeping an eye on Baby Yoda, making sure he doesn't sneak over. So she's still helping Din Djarin because he just helped her get out of that planet, and at the same time, keeping an eye on her own eggs. So they make it through. They make it to the planet. They make it to Trask. And then they turn the engines on to soften the landing. And then Mando goes on and says, nice and easy. You know, it's not going to be nice and easy. The engine blows and it just falls into the water. You have that Mon Calamari just saying, yeah, Razor Crest, of course. Then we have a great shot. We all love walkers, AT-ATs, AT-ATs, or you want to call them ATSD. We all love walkers, and we have a new walker here, that walker crane that just picks the Razor Crest out of the water. It's already covered all those seaweeds in 5 minutes. It was down there, drops it on the landing pad. They get out. Mando tells the dock worker, I love aliens doing day-to-day jobs. So we see all the Quarrens, which I love. I love the Quarren design. We see all the Mon Calamari with their overalls, some sweaters, just working the docks. That's what they do. We see some Quarren fishermen later in the episode. I love this. I think it was an episode on this last season of the Clone Wars when Ahsoka and the Martez sisters are on some planet, and there's a Trandoshan supervisor also working in some docks or something. I think he has some orange overalls or something. I just love seeing aliens doing day-to-day jobs. They don't have to be bounty hunters. They don't have to be gangsters. They can just be doing their normal life, 9-to-5 jobs. I love seeing aliens just casual wear doing their thing. We said it last week talking about Solo, how we love seeing Imperials with mundane jobs. I love seeing aliens just with, they gotta work. They gotta pay bills. They gotta eat something because we can all go eating whatever we find on the ground. So I love seeing that out there. And then Salacious saying her name is Frog Lady. Maybe I'll have to get used to Frog Lady and Frog Man. And then Frog Family. On my notes, I wrote Frog Family for everything. I agree, Michelle. Love if they go back to 40 or 50 minutes. But like I said, love them regardless, as long as they give us quality and then we don't feel that they're rushed to hit that 30 to 35 minutes. But if we can get them to 40, 45, it will be a lot better. You're right that he did give him 1,000 credits, and that's all he did. Again, I understand. He was gone for what, 1 day at the most, maybe two. I think he did plenty for 1 day's job. Get the Razor Crest out of the water, patch it back up, get it to not working. He said, "I'll get it to flying." To do all that in 1 day, we've all taken our cars to mechanics. If you take a car which is total to a mechanics and give him 1,000 credits, you're not getting it back in 1 day. But it doesn't matter. Yes, Dale, great episode. I also loved it. Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan. Again, this is spoiler, so no surprise. And then Mercedes, I forget her last name, but also known as Sasha Banks for all those wrestlers out there as a new bounty hunter. Her name was Koska Reeves, so love that. And a lot of people had some ideas of who she might be playing. I even said here maybe she's an Inquisitor because she had a dark robe and everything was going on. No, she's a Mandalorian. Great, great, great. All right, so they get the Razor Crest out of the water, and we have Frog Lady just looking around, looking like we all done in the airport. We're trying to find our parents or one of our loved ones. She stops for a second, camera changes. You have all the Quarren and the Moncala walking by, and then in the distance, off focus, you can see Frogman. They see each other, they run together, they hug each other. Beautiful, beautiful. Again, say what you want about the other episode. Take the criticism or the conversation, I should say, out of it. It's a great moment to see two people reunited. It hit my heart, especially we've known that parents in Star Wars don't always have the best luck. Here, seeing two parents complete their journey, both of them survived, their eggs survived, their offsprings, and then by the end of the episode, one of them hatches. Uh, yeah, I guess hatches. We see the little tadpole as it's growing, and then we see it was worth it. The Frog Lady journey was worth it, at least for her, and she did help Mando later in this episode. We'll get to it in a moment. It was very sweet, salacious, and I agree, Force of Light. He was a stud. He was carrying his stuff. Again, parents that care do have that extra glimmer. So, Frogman. I'm sure there's people out there doing weird fan stuff right now, but all right, yeah, you're right, Salacious. Frogman must have some move for someone to go across planets, journeying across planets just to get reunited. He does have some move. All right, so at this point, then we see the mysterious character from the trailer that we all knew, we all knew was Sasha Banks, but we didn't know who it was or who she was playing. Mando sees her, she disappears into the crowd, and then he says, yeah, I'm supposed to find some Mandalorians here. I was told, just go to the bar, to the cantina over there, that inn, and you'll get your information. Okay, thanks, bye. Frogman, Frog Lady, and the Frog family are gone. He walks into the inn, and then it felt like when you go to a restaurant and you just want to order, you're with your son there, and you say, just get me something from the kids menu. Are you gonna eat something? No. Well, you gotta eat. These chairs don't pay for themselves, so we need some money. And he said, I'll pay you for information. I love that he paid on calamari flan, right? Those blue disc that he got from Griff Cargo in season 1. So love that he paid with those. I call back to it again. And of course, Mon Calamari want their money back. Then they say, this guy's going to help you. They go on the boat. The all famous Star Wars boat that everyone wanted to see. They saw it on the trailer. Everyone was ready for the boat. And I'll say it did look pretty good. The scene in the open ocean looked great. The special effects were awesome. Again, all the Quarrens walking. One thing, I think I said it last week or the week before, is that these show doesn't shy away from having aliens as main characters, as a lot of aliens in the background. So you can see that the budget for this show has skyrocketed, because I'm pretty sure that doing all those costumes and practical effects is not cheap. And in this episode, they're everywhere. In the beginning, all the scenes in the water, you can see all the quarry fishermen walking in the background. So I love seeing all the alien designs. I love when they talk that the tentacles move, but it doesn't look CGI. It still looks real, like it was right there, prosthetic, which is great. And then again goes to Din Djarin, our new dad, Mando dad, more questionable decisions. So he's there, open oceans for the first time, at least for the baby that we know of. And this quarren fisherman that he's never met tells him, "Hey, we haven't fed this creature that we have here. This, what's that? Mama core. She's hungry. We didn't get to feed her this morning because we're going into the open ocean. So she's hungry. Might be a treat for the kid to see her eat." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, come on, we'll get close." Dude, 2 days before, someone tried kidnapping Baby Yoda. And now you're just taking whoever's word, taking him close to an open, it's not a pit, but an open boat with a dangerous creature down there. And you're like, he did say, it's close enough, but still, he's like 3 feet from the edge. You know something's going to happen. And then they push him in, push the baby in. And then the mama core comes, chomps him, brings him down. Mando does what any dad would do, jumps into the water, and then they just close him behind the gate. First, I think this episode, or this show, I should say, this season, must have a quota of how many teeth they have to show. Because episode 1, we got the crate dragon, mouth full of teeth. Episode 2, we had the spider mom, that when she latches to the Razor Crest viewport, you can see that mouth full of teeth, just razor teeth going side to side or around. And then here we have the mama core coming out of the ocean water, mouth full of teeth. So I think they have to hit a quota of how many teeth they have to show in each episode, on each episode. Yeah, Mr. Redstone, I was mad. I was mad also when they pushed Baby Yoda into the water, but come on, Dean, you can't trust anyone. You gotta just keep a hold on. When you're walking with your child and you're crossing the road, you're always holding their hands because you don't know what's going to happen. Well, he's like, yeah, that's fine. He has that control on his gauntlet that can control the crib. Didn't you just call it back? He was pretty quick when that mama core came up and dragged him down. But he jumps into the water. The gate closes. They start jamming at him. And then here we notice that his helmet is not airtight or watertight because he has to come back up for air. He's drowning down there. I'm guessing there's water coming in, so he has to come back up for air. What happens? We know what's happening. We see 3 Mandalorians come in, and the first one that we see the night owl painted on the helmet. Here she is, Bo-Katan. Again, they don't wait. It's not something at the end of the episode that she shows up. 5 minutes into the episode, Bo-Katan is there kicking butt. We have 2 more Mandalorians that show up. We can see that another one is a female, and then a guy comes in. They kick ass. They kill all the Quarrens, and then pull Mando out of the water. And this is great. I didn't pick this up when I watched it the first time. Again, people on Twitter, they got those correlations. They got them going quick. Someone then said this is just a callback to season 1 when we see Din Djarin being saved by Death Watch. It opens the hatch. We see a Mandalorian stick his hand in, pulls him out. Same thing here. The gate opens and we have a Mandalorian. This time it's Bo-Katan stretching her arm to Mando, take my hand, rescues him. So same thing. But then as the episode goes on, I'll jump in a little bit forward when they're talking about Death Watch and I'll just going. So they pull him out of the water. He says, "Oh, the child, there's a creature down there, save the child." Then we have Sasha Banks with her character, which I mentioned is known as Koska Reeves, jumps into the water. 5 seconds later, she jumps back in. The creature's dead. She rescues Baby Yoda. The pram is all crunched up, hands it to Mando. He opens it. Baby Yoda's fine. Then he starts, oh, great. I was looking for more my canon quested to take this one to the Jedi. We hear now, because we've mentioned before, is he taking it to trying to find more of his species, or is it the Jedi? He does say, I'm taking him to the Jedi. So that question is answered. But this is now what we speculated was going to happen eventually when on season one, the armorer and everyone on the Mando covert says, this is the way. We don't take our helmets off unless someone tries to take it from you, and then you got to fight for your life because we don't do it. That this is the way. And we said, but we've seen it. We've seen Bo-Katan. We've seen all these other Mandalorians on Clone Wars and Rebels taking the helmets off. Is it a difference of coverts? Is it a different families do things differently? And we got our answer. Din Djarin sitting there with Baby Yoda, and then we have the actual reveal. Bo-Katan takes her helmet off. She says, I'm Bo-Katan of Clan Kreese. And the other two, like I said, Koska Reeves and the guy Mando is called Axe Wolves. They all take the helmets off, and Mando's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just did this with Cobb Vanth up on Tatooine. Who did you steal that armor from? We don't. You took your helmet off. This doesn't happen. Oh, here's one of them. Those Child of the Watch, who's crazy theories. But and then she says, Bo-Katan Kreese, or from Clan Kreese, this armor has been on my family for 3 generations. And it's like, you're not Mandos. We don't take our helmets off. I'm bouncing. I'm not gonna say thank you for saving my life. Peace. Goes out. They're like, another one. So great scene. And yeah, the Bo-Katan, Koskan, the guy. I had the subtitles on, so sometimes when he talked, I saw the names, and that's how I saw it. So yeah, the guy. That's how we're gonna call him. So let's talk about that real quick. That scene, not the scene because we did already, but what it means. First, seeing Mandalorians again, it's great. We love the design, we love the armor, we love Mandalorians when they showed up in season one and those 2 episodes, and I love them here even more. Because there's Mandalorians that we know of and we love. Bo-Katan, there's a huge history with Bo-Katan. I told my daughter, because I'm watching Rebels with her again, and I said, oh, Bo-Katan, you're going to see her in Rebels. So you go, oh, thanks for spoiling it. And oh, man, now I know how that feels like. But it was a great scene. We've learned before this season started, we heard that the director of Extraction was hired, I think, as a second unit director to touch up some of the action or some of the fight scenes. I remember on this show, I can't remember the exact episode, but I talked about, I don't know if this is the right move. Are they going to move it just a spectacle, making too much action explosion and forgetting about the actual story, when in reality it just made the show so much better because the action so far has been great. And I think it's because of this person was brought in to help touch up some of those scenes. But going back to the scene when Bo-Katan rescues Mando from the water pit, from the Mama Core pit, excuse me, and now knowing that this is a very mirror image of how he was rescued as a foundling, and then his whole life is based on what Death Watch told him, how they raised him, that now the other side, I should say, not that we know different, the other side from Bo-Katan is saying that, oh, you're a child of the Watch. She doesn't say Death Watch, but this is Death Watch he's referring to. They just raised them a separate way. This is some religious zealots or just another clan out there trying to go back to the old ways and forget about everything else, trying to conquer Mandalore. And that's not the way that we do things here. That's not the real Mandalorians, but that's all that he knows. But now we have a separate scene of him being rescued by another clan with another set of views of how a true Mandalorian should act. So now we have those two opposites. Everything he's known since he was rescued as a foundling by Death Watch, all the way till now being rescued by this other clan of Mandalorians that might be hopefully becomes his new covert, with a different view of what a true Mandalorian should be and what their creed should be. So it's a great parallel that should work then pushing Dean's story forward, in where his thoughts and his views and his creeds will be challenged. Maybe he finds the cover that he was with before in season one and knows the difference or notices the difference between them and Night Owls. I think it's Night Owls where Bo-Katan is, and then that becomes a conflict. So we'll see. But great scene. Yeah. So, but he leaves. He doesn't say thank you, which is a little bit of a jerk move right there. And thanks Dale for giving the name of the actor Simon Cassianides as Axe Wolves. Because again, and we're going to talk about it when we talk about Rogue One, diversity, diversity. We all know how important that is, not just gender-wise, but nationality-wise and beliefs. And having different people from different nationalities, backgrounds is great for Star Wars and everything in general. So, yes. Right. Hi, Natalie. How are you doing? Natalie's here. Happy there's a redhead. Yeah, redhead in Star Wars. I'm sure everyone likes redheads. And again, we just talk about representation. Now we have a redhead representation in Star Wars. Everything is important. Um, so anyway, Mando goes back to the docks. He's confronted by other Quarrens. Hey, you killed my brother. Now we're gonna kill you. He's like, dude, just let me pass. I just been through too much. I just need to find some hot food. Then no, we're gonna kill you. And then no, Bo-Katan comes back. Koska and the Mando guy show up, axe Wolf, and say, no, he didn't kill them. I did. Wreck shop kills everyone. And I love seeing Mandalorians working together because nothing's going to stand in their way. So they just shoot everyone, kills everything, and say, okay, you don't want to listen to us. Let's at least buy you a drink. Great. Yeah, Mando's like, yeah, let's do a drink. I'll do that. Well, he doesn't take his helmet off, so he doesn't take the drink. So I don't get it. My daughter's like, but how does he eat? Because he never takes his helmet off with people around. So why is he going for a drink if he's not going to drink it? We'll just take it later. Drink by himself in the bar in his room, which he doesn't have. He go back to the Razor Crest. Anywho, I'm just trying to follow my notes. All right, so once they're in the inn or bar, wherever they're at, Bo-Katan tells him this story about, he says, I gotta take the child to the Jedi. Okay, I know a Jedi that can help you. We know. We know what that means. The only Jedi that Bo-Katan knows at this point it's Ahsoka. So it's gonna happen. What do you know about the Jedi? She asks. Not nothing. And that's when she said, okay, I'll lead you to one of them. I'll tell you when you can find a Jedi. But first, you gotta help us with something. Trash is a black market port. People use this to smuggle weapons that they stolen from Mandalore just to sell them forward. So I'm gonna steal them back so I can retake my home planet. And I need your help getting those weapons. And then we'll help you. I'll tell you where to find the Mandalorian. So that's the plan. I'll tell you where to find the Jedi, but you gotta help me get the weapons from these people. Then the switcher is like, yeah, we'll do it. Then we find out that it's an Imperial freighter that's gonna be leaving the port later that day, and they're scanning for life forms, so we can smuggle ourselves in. We just gotta do this quick and easy, like he said at the beginning, nice and easy. And we get one of my favorite shots in the episode, one of my favorite shots in the whole season. And it's that freighter starting to leave. We see from the back that all the engines, and then you see the 4 Mandalorians on their jetpacks flying towards it, and then they're flying over it and drop on that stormtrooper that's there. It's my favorite shot, I think, of the episode. And I posted it on Twitter. I put all the spoilers that I could, but there's nothing cooler than seeing live action Mandalorians with their jetpack just flying over. I love that scene. I can watch that all day. I think that back shot of the ship leaving and then the 4 Mandalorians flying over is just greatly done. And again, Bryce Dallas Howard and director of photography, Base Hadin, I think it is. Great job. So they go in. They throw those stormtroopers off the alleyway. Oh, pirates! They think they're pirates. But I skipped a very important scene that before all this happens, Din Djarin says, "I gotta do something first. I learned my lesson. I'm not gonna take Baby Yoda with me for this daring mission." So he goes and takes Baby Yoda to see who? The Frog family. So he takes them to Frog Lady and Frog Man and says, "Hey, can you look out for him for a little bit? I gotta go do something." And they're like, "Yeah, give me the baby." They don't care what he did. They're like, "Give me the baby. We'll take care of him. You both of you help me get here. You help my wife get here and my offspring. So we'll take care of Baby Yoda." He's left with a caring family, mom and dad, or a frog lady and a frog man, and he's happy. Hopefully, he'll get something to eat. He's there. He starts looking at the eggs, but then we see a tadpole hatch, which was great. And then I love this smile on Baby Yoda. He wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat it." He was like, He was like a child seeing something new, and I love seeing that. And I think hopefully that it means something for Baby Yoda that he understands what he was doing before was not the best thing because there's life beings there. Where he sees that tadpole hatch, and he's so happy. And I'm happy that he's not going to be in trouble, at least for the next couple of hours while Daddy Mando is out risking his life. So then we go to that scene. They jump into the Imperial freighter. We see more Imperial remnants. Last season, we saw Moff Gideon with his cadre of stormtroopers. We thought that that was it. That's the whatever's left of the Empire, at least on this sector. But no, he's part of a bigger cell. They even said that Imperials on that ship say, "Hey, let's hit hyperspace and meet the fleet out there." So how many are out there? We think it's not that many, but apparently there's a lot of Imperials still out there. We've heard at some point before season one started that we were going to be introduced to the beginnings of the First Order in The Mandalorian, and we didn't know how it was going to play out. But I think it's starting. We saw Moff Gideon, a few of the stormtroopers he had. I think one of the interviews that Giancarlo Esposito did, he said that he's on a Star Destroyer. So that's gonna come into play. Now we know there's a fleet out somewhere. Are they trying to get to the unknown regions where the First Order started, the Emperor's contingency plan, all these starting to make a little bit more sense than I thought at the beginning of the show when before season one even started. Yes, you are right. Force of Light. I don't know now if it's Natalie or Michelle because Natalie's down here now. You're everywhere. But anyway, you're right. Baby Yoda was so sweet with the baby there, and at the end, when it's bigger, that those frogs they grow quick. Just petting him. Oh, little frog. I understand now. I'm sorry what I did to your almost brothers and sisters. So yeah, very sweet. And here she is, Natalie. Hey, Natalie, how are you doing? And like Dale is saying, two people he wants to see again are Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shan, Omid Abatai as Dr. Pershing. Yes, what happened to Dr. Pershing? Every doctor in The Mandalorian shows up for one episode and gone. Dr. Pershing and, of course, Dr. Mandible. Are they working together? Pershing making clones of Dr. Mandible or Mandible making clones of Dr. Pershing? I don't know. Give me both of them. Yes. Um, Pershing, he has to come back, right? He has that clone from Camino patch on his shoulder. We've all been talking about what's happened with Baby Yoda and the eggs. Or was the client trying to clone Baby Yoda? Does the Emperor want some of Yoda's DNA to then clone himself? So cloning has to come back at some point, and Dr. Pershing should be part of it. So we'll see. So when they figured out that it's Mandalorians that are attacking the Imperial freighter, they said the guys on the cockpit or the cockpit say to the other guys, "Hey, they made it to where all the weapons are. Just hold them off." I love that scene because it's like we gotta hold them off till we jump to hyperspace and regroup with the fleet. All right, we'll hold them off. Door opens. Bo-Katan is out there just shooting and everyone. Like, close them up. Close them up. Close all the doors. How many? All of them. All of them. Close the door. We're not gonna deal with this. Love that scene. That scene was very funny because I expected the obvious. Oh, the doors are gonna open. There's no one there. They're gonna be coming from on top, underneath. No, these are top-notch Mandalorians. Doors open. Start blasting. And I think this is the first time, and I love seeing Mando, Din Djarin working together with other Mandalorians because in season one they rescued him. They really weren't working together. Here we do see both of them, all of them, the four of them working together, trying to get to the end of the ship. So I love seeing again Mandalorians together, just all out action. It was great. So they make it. They lock them behind the control panels to the whatever galley, and they just open the door. Everyone flows out. Then we have Bo-Katan when she gets on the comms and tells the Imperial, "Oh, we're not gonna be stealing anything here. We're not gonna jettison. We're actually coming for the ship. So get ready. Put some tea on. We'll be up in a minute." Which I love and I didn't love because it sounded. That's when we come into the. It hits too close to home, being too earthly and too human, right? Tea? Do they drink tea in Star Wars? I'm sure they said it before. They said brandy and other stuff like that. But at least they say calf for coffee. But when she says, put that tea on, we'll be there in a minute. It's funny. It's fine. I liked it. And then that's when Dean goes, like, whoa, this isn't part of the deal. You're changing the terms of the deal. I need to get the baby to where he needs to be. This is not what we're going to do. And she's like, well, I'm changing part of the deal. This is the way. Says it in a very mocking way when he says, you're changing the terms of the deal. This is the way. Basically mocking his whole system of beliefs that he's been raised with. She just mocked him right there. And she's like, I don't care. You want to reach the Jedi, you got to help me do this. And then before they can get to the cockpit, we have the return of our friend. You love to hate him. Moff Gideon shows up. He tells the other Imperials, hey, it's too late. You're not coming out here. We're not going to help you. It's the same pirates as before. They're already going to be there before you can make the jump. Or anyone can come to help you. You know what to do. Long live the Empire. Long live the Empire, and you know what's going to happen. So then the guy goes, he's going to crash the ship. I love hearing long live the Empire because it goes back to these people are not done. They're trying to rebuild the Empire. So then that goes back to, are we going to go to the unknown regions? Is this part of the Emperor's contingency plan that we know of? So we're going to be getting more into Imperials, which is great because then we have the Cassian Andor series coming. We see the Rebellion side with the Imperial side 30 years before, whenever. But love that there's still more Imperial talk being out there. So before they can get to the cockpit, we have another hallway scene. We know we talk about hallway scenes here when we did our scary scenes in Star Wars, and this wasn't a scary one, but it reminded me of, if you guys are Lord of the Rings fans, movie number 2, Two Towers, when the Battle of Helm's Deep, there's no way that they can breach the tower. All the orcs are in the bottom. We got this. They can't enter here unless there's a little sewer that they might be able to exploit. And we have this great scene of this Uruk-hai, this orc running. They put a bomb in the sewer. We have this orc running with his torch, trying to blow it up. Aragorn is telling Legolas, shoot him down, shoot him down. He's getting all the arrows in, but he makes it and jumps and blows the whole thing up. That's why this scene reminded me. Dean goes to the other Mandos, hey, cover me. He turns on some detonators and he starts chugging it. He starts making it to the door, getting hit on his best car, trying not to die, and then he jumps forward, throws the detonators, blows the elevator or the door opening, and then they make it to the cockpit. Reminded me of Two Towers. Hopefully it was a callback to that movie, which I love, and that's a great scene. Ooh, I should have brought some water. So at that point, the Imperial kills himself. He has something in the back of his mouth. Bo-Katan says, take me to him. You know what I want. I need the Darksaber. And it's like, she tells him, I won't kill you. Just tell me where he is. He says, you might not kill me, but he will. Bites down that Star Wars cyanide, and we see some blue lightning, and then dies. They're able to save the ship. It doesn't crash. And then we have Bo-Katan telling Mando, okay, I'll tell you how to get to how to meet a Jedi. You gotta go to the city of Calodan on the planet Corvus, and then you're gonna meet Ahsoka Tano. Tell her Bo-Katan sent you. It was coming. We knew it was coming, but now confirmation. Ahsoka Tano will be on this season. It might be just for 5 minutes, and it doesn't matter. But even if she's not there, just a mention live action mention of Ahsoka Tano brings a smile to my face. I know a lot of, excuse me, Ahsoka Tano has become one of the most beloved Star Wars characters out there for a lot of people that grew up with Rebels and Clone Wars. So I'm so happy, mostly for them, also for myself, because I do want to see her live action. And here we have confirmation that Ahsoka Tano will 99% make her debut on season 2 of The Mandalorian. Great hearing the name, new planets, new systems that we're gonna be traveling to. We haven't seen any of this in the trailer. And then Bo-Katan's ends with "Your bravery will not be forgotten. This is the way." And again, I love it because 5 minutes earlier she said, "This is the way," mockingly. This, when she tells him, "Your bravery will not be forgotten. This is the way," again goes completely against what Death Watch and his covert have taught him, I think, a little bit. But the way she emphasized, at least on my eyes, the second time I didn't catch it, but I think she does say, "This is the way." She puts an emphasis on "this is the way." Like, we're gonna remember your bravery. We won't forget you, because that's what we do as Mandalorians. So I think, again, this is gonna come up. I don't think I'm breaking any news here, that that duality of Night Owls or Bo-Katan's group and Night Watch is gonna come to play at some point in this season with Din Djarin. He's gonna have to make a choice. Whew, and that's most of the episode. Then he goes, picks up Baby Yoda from Frog Family. Do we see the little baby frog? Baby Yoda's petting him. Mando says, "No, no, no, I have enough pets, so I'm not taking him." And again, this is a joke. I don't think that Mando sees Baby Yoda as a pet anymore. He does treat him a lot better than he would a pet, basically as his child. Oh, excuse me again, but it's a cool bit. So very funny. So that's the show. That's the episode. Great episode. I think my favorite of the season, maybe favorite of the series so far. Then I have a few questions. Razor Crest. The Razor Crest, it's, come on, dude. You gotta get rid of it. Do you think we're gonna be seeing a new Razor Crest at some point, either the season or the series? Because I don't think he's gonna get rid of the Razor Crest and start flying a different ship. But he might buy a new one or get it pimped out, because he started with regular Mandalorian armor and then he upgraded to Beskar. I think I'm hope that he will do the same thing with the Razor Crest, that he will do an upgrade at some point to get it back on tip top shape. Because right now the Razor Crest, they're not gonna make it to Calodan or to Corvus. That ship can't even make it out of the atmosphere. So we'll see. More Bo-Katan. We're gonna be seeing Bo-Katan again in this season. I'm not sure. She did a lot in this episode. She moved Din Djarin's story forward, pushing him towards Ahsoka Tano. So I'm not sure if we'll see her again in the episode. I hope, because the Darksaber is still in play, and there has to be that. It doesn't have to be, but we want to see that confrontation between Moff Gideon and Bo-Katan. So hopefully we'll see her at some point again. Will Sabine be with Ahsoka when we meet her? Are they on Corvus and Calodan looking for Ezra out there? This is 5 years after the fall of the Empire and Return of the Jedi, at the end of Rebels, which I can't say exactly how many years have passed from the end of Return of the Jedi to the beginning of Rebels, because I really don't know. So, but it might be around the same time frame. So they might still be on the lookout for Ezra, and that's why Ahsoka Tano won't be a big part of the season or the series in general. They'll just meet up for an episode. She won't take Baby Yoda with her because she has this other mission of finding Ezra. And when we see the unknown regions, we've just talked about it. There's more Imperials out there. There's reinforcements. There's another fleet out there where Moff Gideon is at. They're trying to long live the Empire. They're trying to rebuild the Empire. Will we see the unknown regions? With unknown regions, we know also Ezra is in play and Thrawn is in play. We've heard rumors a long time ago that both of them might show up in the series or in the season, or that they have their own series coming in. So a lot of questions came out from this episode. It was a great episode. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought out there. So in the comments, I see a lot of people love this episode. It was a great episode. sorry, in the chat. If you're watching this later, let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode. And if you're listening to this on the audio podcast later, thank you also. And just let me know. Send me a quick tweet at Radio Rebel Pod and tell me what you thought about Chapter 11 of Mandalorian Season 2. Whew, that's a lot of thoughts. And yes, like Force of Light is saying, just give a thumbs up. If you're watching this now on the chat, just give us a quick thumbs up. Doesn't take that long to hit the thumbs up. And if you're watching this again on the replay, you can also do it. Doesn't take that long. And that's it. That's it for Mandalorian Chapter 11, The Heiress. So great episode. It brought everyone back. There were, like I mentioned at the beginning, some people didn't really like the previous episode for whatever reasons, but this episode brought everyone back, and that's what I wanted. That's what this show has been, just been bringing everyone back to loving Star Wars and loving the Mandalorian. So with that said, I think it's time that we go to our second topic of the day, and we are taking a long time because it was a great episode of The Mandalorian. Thank you, Salacia, for saying great show. Well done. Thank you. We're not done yet. We're only halfway through. If you need to leave, that's fine. Just come back later and finish up. And yes, you're right, Natalie. I do need some water, and I've done it twice. The first 2 episodes or 4 episodes ago, I said I need some water. I'm getting parched. I need some water doing this. Then I had some water the following one. I didn't have any water today, but eventually I'll remember and bring some. But we finished Mandalorians, and we're going to our continuing series here on Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast, and it is Star Wars Rewind. And today we are talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So last week we did Solo, a Star Wars story, as the first standalone movie that we talked about here in Radio Rebellion. But today we're actually talking about the first solo standalone Star Wars movie that came out. Before this, everything had been, the trilogies had been related to the Star Wars saga. And now we came to Rogue One. So let me get this set up for a few minutes. There we go. So yes, Rogue One had a lot riding on it. And sorry, I got distracted by a comment real quick. So yes, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So this movie came out 2015, right after Star Wars, after Force Awakens. So after Episode 7, Star Wars was back. Everyone was on a high. And then following year, we didn't have to wait 3 years for the next Star Wars movie. We got Rogue One. Everyone was going crazy for this movie. It was something unexpected. But we'll get there in a minute. So let's talk about the trailer first, which is funny. I can't even talk about the trailer because almost nothing that we saw in those first trailers came out in the movie, because as we learned afterwards or before the movie came out, they reshot like 40%, or at least the ending. They did a lot of changes to it. The director Gareth Edwards got some help. He wasn't kicked out like some of the other directors. And so a lot of the things that we saw in that initial trailer didn't make it to the final movie. Mainly it was I just talk about Din Djarin so much, Jyn Erso, and Cassian Andor, some of the other rebels running in the water, through the water, just leaving, trying to escape. We didn't see that in the movie. We didn't see the stormtroopers storming the beach, basically, and the big scene of that TIE fighter coming while Jyn is on that platform. That didn't make it to the movie. So what happened? So yeah, a lot happened between the trailers, the initial filming, and what we got in theaters. But it doesn't matter. A great movie came out. But the trailer was a great trailer, got everyone hyped, because this, like I mentioned before, is a different type of movie. This is boots on the ground, a gritty Star Wars movie. Back then, that's the key term, right? Everything had to be gritty. Or the comic book movie, Star Wars, everything had to be gritty. And it was sold on that trailer that this was going to be a different type of movie out there. It's the war. It puts the war in Star Wars. All right, so from then, let's talk about the poster real quick. And for some reason, I stopped sharing my screen. So let me do this again. There we go. So posters. So there were a lot of great posters that came out for Rogue One. Like I mentioned, we had the one of, as you can see in the background of this picture was the stormtroopers storming the beach. We have the plans of the Death Star and all our heroes also in the poster. So there were a lot of great posters that came out. But this one here, this is my favorite. So you got the Rebel helmet on the beach. You have the Rebel insignia on the water, the stormtroopers, and the walkers in the background. Again, great poster. My favorite one for this movie. Again, puts you in the mood for what this movie is gonna be about. So, thoughts and expectation before seeing the movie. So, like I said, it was Star Wars. So, you know me, if it's Star Wars, I'm going to be excited for it. So, I was really excited for this movie. It came right after Force Awakens, which I love. I love back then. I still love Force Awakens so much. So, we were all, at least myself, on this Star Wars high that nothing could go wrong. And we knew that Darth Vader was going to show up in some form of or another because on Star Wars Celebration Europe, there was the teaser, and we all only saw, I think, his shadow or his reflection on the floor of a Star Destroyer or something. So we were so excited, that confirmation that Darth Vader was gonna be there. So extremely excited for this movie. Like you say, Natalie, love the trailer for Rogue One. It put you in that this is gonna be a different Star Wars. So I did love the trailer, even though it might be different than the actual movie. But the theme behind it was the same. But yeah, very pumped for this movie when it was coming out just before going to see it. After seeing the movie, after that third act, the Battle over Scarif, when I came out of that theater, I was driving home, zipping through cars. It's this 3-lane highway. I'm just going, thinking about on my X-Wing or my U-Wing, cutting through TIE fighters, extremely pumped after seeing this movie because it ends in such a that last act is heralded as one of the best last acts in Star Wars, one of the best space battles. We have the Darth Vader scene, so it ends on that high that I was so pumped when this movie finished. I just wanted to go back and watch it. It was nothing else that I wanted to do. Afterwards, it started to calm down a little bit, mainly because I loved Force Awakens so much, but a lot of people were then hitting on Force Awakens because they prefer Rogue One for the same reasons that I said before. It's a different type of Star Wars. It's more adult because it's a war movie. Force Awakens, oh, that's just a rehash of A New Hope. It doesn't hold a candle to Rogue One. So at that point, I started, no. Force Awakens is better. So my love for Rogue One started to diminish a little bit. But the more I kept watching it, the more it kept growing back up. I believe this is my wife's favorite Star Wars movie, so she's mentioning sometimes, hey, let's watch Rogue One. If I start watching it, she'll sit down. So then my love for Rogue One started growing and growing. And when I watched this last weekend, it was still there. So it's a great movie. It holds up real great. It has a lot of great themes. It's the funniest Star Wars movie in my mind. And that's all I have to say about it for this moment. All right, so moving on with our breakdown of Rogue One, or a look back at Rogue One, I'm going to do things a little bit different. Before we get that, yes, Natalie, the Darth Vader scene was amazing. It is, like I said, on our scary scenes in Star Wars, might be the scariest scene in all of Star Wars. And Vader Girl Cat agrees, and also that they all love The Force Awakens. I can't wait to talk Force Awakens in a few weeks, a few months. And then before we move on, our friend Salacious from Co-working Monkey Lizard Army says, yes, the trailer was awesome. The Death Star Siren, that's right, I did forget about that. The awesome dialogue from Saw Gerrera that didn't make the feel, what will you become? Yeah, great trailer. Saw Gerrera is a great character. We're going to talk about some of the great dialogues on this movie. So yeah, instead of going from what I like and what I didn't like, and I usually do on these Star Wars rewinds, I broke it down into a couple of different sections. And we'll start right now. So first off, diverse cast. This is the most diverse cast in Star Wars. We just had Force Awakens with our first female lead in Star Wars. I know we had Leia. I know we had Padme, but they were part of this ensemble. They weren't really the lead in the movie. And here we have Felicity Jones playing Jyn Erso as the lead in a Star Wars movie. So right at that point, it becomes something different. We have Diego Luna as Cassian Andor, Latino lead in Star Wars. Again, we had Bail Organa before with Jimmy Smith, but again, he was a secondary character. Here we have Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, as a main character. We have Asian characters with Donnie Yen and Jian Wen. We have a British Pakistani with Riz Ahmed, also Muslim. We have Forrest Whitaker playing Saw Gerrera, a black actor. So all these different ethnicities, backgrounds, genders. Again, still we have one female character with like 10 male co-stars, which is still a big disbalance. But in the other sense, there's a lot of diversity in this movie, which is great. Gives you another view in Star Wars. Again, we also in Star Wars, it's a whole galaxy. Everyone is different, so I love that in this movie. So in the atmosphere and the setting, like I mentioned before, it's the first standalone Star Wars movie that we are gonna get. At that point, they were called Star Wars Anthology. Before they were called Star Wars Story, which I prefer the anthology title behind it, but Star Wars stories are fine. He had a lot writing on it for the same reason, and it did went through massive rewrites. So there was a lot of things behind the scenes. Catalyst is the catalyst. If you read Star Wars books, or if you don't, if you love Rogue One, you have to read Catalyst by James Luceno. This is so far my favorite Star Wars canon book because of how closely it goes to Rogue One. If you read Catalyst, it's gonna Catalyst by Del Rey Star Wars. Del Rey, if you're listening, I'll review your book. Just send me a copy, advance copy. I'll do all the reviews you want. Catalyst, Del Rey Star Wars. All joking aside, I love reading Catalyst before seeing Rogue One because then I was already invested in Krennic, Ursos, Saw Gerrera. I was invested in all those characters going into the movie. So when it started, I knew why Lyra was troublesome as always because it's covered here. I know why Galen Erso doesn't want to go back and work with Krennic because of all the crap that he did before. I know why when they have the flashback to Coruscant and Galen is putting Jean to bed while while also Krennic and Lyra are having a discussion, and that's in the book. That's when we start seeing this troublesome side of Lyra is in that scene. So I love knowing all that beforehand. So Catalyst by James Luceno's Del Rey Star Wars, I really highly recommend it if you haven't read it already. Yes, you're right, Salacious. It does need more Monkey Lizard. Diverse cast, not a lot of Monkey Lizard, just getting eaten in Mandalorian. Yeah, he's right. All right, so but we have no crawl. So this is the mistake. So they didn't have a crawl. First Star Wars movie without a crawl. They did a little bit of a walk back in Solo with some title card, not title card, but with a few paragraphs popping into the screen. But this movie didn't have a crawl. It just kind of boom, Rogue One. Like I mentioned, it's a gritty, grounded war movie. It's boots on the ground, the unknown heroes of the war. We know of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker. Oh, I thought he was a myth. Oh, you're Han Solo from the Rebellion. Oh, all this Leia, the rebel leader. We all know those great heroes. This is those unsung heroes of the war. This is their movie. We have grimy stormtroopers. I love my stormtroopers, but seeing them all worn down like we then see in Mandalorian is a great look and something we hadn't seen before. Last time we saw stormtroopers in the prequels or the clone troopers all shiny. Then Force Awakens, we get a new brand of stormtroopers you can see back there. But here we have all those grimy, dusty stormtroopers. New ship designs. I love the U-Wing. I think the U-Wing is a very underrated ship. We have the TIE Striker, the new TIE Fighter, and the Hammerhead Corvettes that come and save the day at the end of the movie. And I think it's also the first time that we get an animated character making the jump to live action with Saw Gerrera, like Salacious Ron mentioned, and we mentioned earlier. Saw Gerrera we had met before during the Clone Wars. Then he shows up in Rogue One. He was also on Catalyst. And then he goes back and shows up in Rebels, and we see his progression to when he's all messed up in the head by the time we meet him in Rogue One. Great thing about this book also, the price of the rebellion. It's they're the good guys, but they have to do a lot of bad things to be considered the good guys. It starts with Cassian killing Tibik as they're trying to escape the ring of Kafrin when the stormtroopers are coming, when he gives them the information about the pilot that had defected. Draven telling Cassian, there's no extraction. If you see Galen Erso, you kill them right there and they will not bring him back. So the price of rebellion, it's not all glitz and glamour. There's a lot of bad things they have to do. And then we've mentioned before, aliens that speak basic sometimes don't work. I think every single alien that we meet here speaks a different language. Everyone in Saul's Rebel Cell speaks a different language. It gives you more of that, this is a different galaxy. So I love seeing that. So all that setting from this movie, it's great. Again, it's something totally different that we had seen in Star Wars 2. TIE Reaper, thank you. Put TIE Striker for some. TIE Reaper, TIE Striker. There's like two different ones. So yeah, TIE Reaper is the other one. Of course, it's the other one. All right. So that's it for the atmosphere. Then we go to friendships. We have Cassian and K2SO. Great friendship. We've grown to love all the human and droid friendships in Star Wars. Anakin and R2, Luke and R2, C-3PO and R2. Then we go to Rebels, and we have everyone with Chopper, Hera with Chopper, BB-8 with Rey and Poe. So all those relationships are great. So here we have Cassian with K2. That relationship is great. I posted a few days ago, Chirrut Imwe and Base Malbus. It's an underrated relationship in Star Wars. They had their back from all their lives, basically. They were guardians of the wheels. They have a great relationship from when we meet both of them at the beginning of the movie, or when we meet them in Jeddah, all the way to the end of the movie, where Base doesn't about face. Basically, he had forgotten about the Force, guardians of the wheels. Chirrut had said, Base Malbus was once the most, I can't remember the exact wording, but basically the one that believed most in the will and the Force, and now he's forgotten everything. By the end of the movie, he's back. I'm one with the Force, and Force is with me. We'll get to it in a minute. I'm sure you guys want to talk about it. Oh, Natalie, I gotta take your advice. I gotta have a little cooler here. That's what I need for my office. Just a cooler next to my setup. So every time I'm thirsty, just grab something and keep going. I can't stop the show, go to the fridge, and come back. Maybe I could. Nah. All right. So quotes. Let's talk about quotes. We mentioned it before. How many great quotes are in this movie from the trailer? What will you become? And then great quotes, not just in Star Wars in general. A lot of them have made it into day-to-day conversations. So let's go through a couple of them. I love this one. We're Radio Rebellion. So I love where Gene Menzies says, you are all rebels, aren't you? Again, that's a slap in the face to everyone in that chamber and that war room, telling her, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You're rebels. Go do it yourself, aren't you? Aren't you rebels? Aren't you supposed to be out there doing this? Trust goes both ways. You can use that your whole life. This hits home. This is something that we don't want people taking advantage of us. If I'm gonna trust you, you gotta trust me at the same time. So trust goes both ways. It's a great quote that Jean tells Cassian when K2 says, she has a gun, I don't have a gun. Trust goes both ways, and then it's repeated at the end of the movie. Radus, when he says, I say we fight. Another great quote. A lot of people use it out there. This is another quote for life. What chance do we have? The question is, what choice? It's great in the movie because it's basically saying it's too big of an obstacle. I'm not even going to try. It's like, no, it's not. That's not the question. It's, you have to try. That's the only choice we have. So it's not what chance do we have. Forget about it. It's what choice. So when you're put in that position, you got to take the leap and go through it. Then we have at the end of the movie, where Bail Organa and Mothma are talking, and she says, oh, your friend the Jedi, can he still help us? Your friend the Jedi, he's talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then he goes with, oh, yeah, he served me well in the Clone Wars. I'm fine. I'm sure he'll be able to help. Oh, do you have someone that you trust to deliver the message? I trust her with my life. I cry. For some reason, at that point, I got very emotional when I watched it this past week. Maybe because Carrie Fisher had passed already. Maybe because I'm a father and I know what that means, then trusting your daughter with your life. and knowing that he's going to Alderaan and he's gonna die out there. So just in the context of the movie, it's a very powerful scene and very good, great quotes, important emotional quotes, at least for me. And of course, Leia at the end saying, "Oh, what did they brought us? Hope. Hope. That's the theme of Star Wars. I've always said is hope." And with Leia saying this at the end of the movie, it's the great one of the best quotes so far. Um, Another great Orson Krennic quote: "We stand here. I'm on my achievement, not yours." And this has been used now as a meme out there. Cassian Andor. This is why I want to see a Cassian Andor series. Why I'm so excited for a Cassian Andor series. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Now the rebellion is real for you. He's been in this his whole life, from separatist parents to now being part of the rebellion, having to do awful things in the name of the rebellion. That's what gets me so excited for the Cassian Andor series. And I love that their argument on Edu as they're leaving, and she's telling him, "Oh, you went there to kill my father," and he's like, "I didn't follow orders. My whole life I've been following orders because this is my life." I love that scene, that confrontation, what it means, hopefully moving forward for his series. Rebellions are built on hope. Again, Radio Rebellion is built on hope. There's a bunch more that I wrote down, but we're running out of time. We're over 10 minutes already. So I'm just going to finish with the best quote in the whole movie. It's one of the best quotes in all of Star Wars. We saw it in Clone Wars Season 7. I'm sure it's going to come back at some point. Maybe we'll see it. We'll read about it during the High Republic. And it is, "I am one with the Force. The Force is with me." That's something that when we heard that for the first time from Chirrut, then by the end of the movie, then in Clone Wars, it hits hard. It hits different every time that you hear about it. This is one of the best quotes and should be up there when people are quoting Star Wars. "I am one with the Force is with me. I am one with the Force is with me." There's nothing you can say about it that's not in a positive way. All right, let me take a quick break and see some of your comments. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I should just go, like Dale is saying, just go get a drink of water and just cut the part out when I upload it. I should. At least for you guys don't mind if I stand up for 30 seconds and come back. I'll cut it out from the audio podcast. No one will know. I wouldn't want to do that to you guys. But like Dale is saying, with that Star Wars, hope. Hope it's Star Wars. So yeah, some great quotes in that movie that sometimes we forget about when we talk about great quotes in Star Wars. We always go to Yoda for a lot of them, but there's some great quotes here that we can apply not just in Star Wars but to our life in general. All right, like I mentioned, humor is a very humorous movie. Most of it comes from K2S, so with some of these great comments, of course. "You are being rescued. Congratulations. Congratulations," when he slams Jean to the ground. What's the probability of her using that blaster against you? It's high. It's very high. Come on, who wasn't laughing there? And, "I'll be with you all the whole way." Cassian said, "I had to." And of course, when he slaps Cassian across the side of his mouth, "Don't mouth off again, or there's a fresh one where that came from." So great humor from K2S, so it doesn't get old. A lot of these time, those jokes are getting old as the movie goes by. It doesn't. And of course, Chirrut, the blind quasi Jedi, when they put the hood over his face. "Are you kidding me? I'm blind." It's a great scene. It's a great comedic scene. It feels right for that moment. Like you're saying, yeah, it's high. It's very high. Yes, Salacious. When Chirrut dies and then his mate base, he goes down and says, "I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me." Guns down like four of those Death Troopers, but then unfortunately he dies. And then before he blows up, he looks at his friend. He sees Chirrut there. A smile comes to his face because he knows he's gonna meet him again. Because we're all one with the Force, and that's when he comes back full circle back into believing in the wheels and the Force. Surprises. There's a bunch of surprises in this movie, things that I wasn't expecting. And let's start with Tarkin. We had heard that Tarkin might show up. Moff Tarkin at this point is Governor Tarkin, and I wasn't expecting him to turn around and be a full character for half the movie. When he shows up the first time, we just see his reflection on that window staring out into space. I thought that was it. So okay, we see his reflection there. He looks like Tarkin. We're good. No, that guy turned around, full CGI Governor talking at that point, completely believable. I know some people say, you can tell the CGI. It doesn't matter. They took a swing. They hit it out of the park. At least on my eyes, it doesn't. I can't tell the difference, but it doesn't affect my view of the movie. I think it was a great choice going that way. Also with Leia at the end, I know it's a little bit harder to do Leia, but for me it worked, and I really love both of them. The Darth Vader scene we talked about a little bit at the beginning. The greatest surprise in all of Star Wars, right? Seeing Darth Vader, the alarms are going, ew, ew, ew. The door is jammed. You don't know what's. So for this is, I'll go with this. I had read some of the reviews before, non-spoilers, and one of them was, "Oh, just what the ending for this movie is just gonna blow your mind. The ending is the best thing ever." And then we get Vader saying to his guys, "Oh, prepare a boarding party." And that's when I thought that's what they meant, because in my eyes, all this means when he boards the Tantive 4 at the beginning of New Hope. I thought that, oh, I get the parallels right there. This is happening. Everything goes black. The door is jammed. Red lightsaber comes in. The music pops out, and he's just slashing and killing everyone. It's the greatest scene, or at least the greatest surprise scene wise. I know you're no, I'm your father. Sorry, I'm your father is the greatest surprise ever. But seeing Vader there, it's something completely unexpected. It's gonna live there forever as one of the greatest scenes to see in the theater, at least from a Star Wars standpoint. I think it's a super underrated score. Michael Giacchino had like 4 or 5 weeks to do this score, and it's awesome. I love the Rogue One score, and I hope more people gave it the credit that it deserves. The Krennic and Tolkien rivalry is great. It's something again I didn't expect it, but we have that dual Krennic. I mean, Tolkien not believing in Krennic, he's not gonna be able to deliver the Death Star when it does. Where he's like, okay, thank you, I'll be taking over. I talked about this to the Emperor years ago, so I'm gonna be taking charge of it. So their confrontation, their rivalry, is unexpected because you don't expect two Imperials to be going at it. But it was great to see this on screen. Seeing Chopper is a great surprise. The mention of General Syndulla is another great surprise. We get to see Yavin 4 again, Mon Mothma, Bail Organa. We saw Leia, so a lot of great stuff. Mustafa when he comes in. We see Vader in his Bacta tank. That's another great scene because Vader, he just got chopped up in half. He's just hanging there, no limbs. A great visual in that movie. Um, he still got jokes. And also people in the like, don't choke on your aspirations, general or command, whatever. I love that Vader still has jokes. And of course, during the Battle of Scarif, we see Gold Leader and Red Leader. It's great that they pull those scenes from the unused New Hope and then put them in Rogue One because it just works great. And then just make that jump into New Hope when you go into it. All right. The action. We see the Death Star in action, which is great. We only saw it in A New Hope, but here, single reactor. We don't need to make a manifesto. Let's just show them what the Death Star can do. It's great seeing the Death Star in action. Like I mentioned, the whole last act, the battle over Scarif, the battle in Scarif in the beach. This is Hero, like I mentioned before, one of the best closing acts in Star Wars. That third act, one of the best space battles in Star Wars. I still prefer the beginning to Revenge of the Sith as my favorite space battle, but this one is up there. Walkers on the beach is something that just looks great. It's not the AT-ATs, but it's close to it. Um, X-wings and Y-wings when they're battling in Edu is another great scene. So there's a lot of great action in this movie. Chirrut versus the stormtroopers on Jeddah is another great one because we want to see Donnie Yen use his martial arts ability. So it's great to see him beat up 20 stormtroopers with his stick. Oh, and the Death Star eclipse on Jeddah. It's one of the best, beautiful scenes in Star Wars. We see the Death Star cover the sun, then the laser goes down, then it moves on. It's a great scene, great action scene, and just a great visual. Um, what else? What else? So canon additions. Let's start wrapping this up. Rogue One has a lot of great canon addition in Star Wars, so just to the lore of Star Wars. Let's start with Jeddah. Jeddah now we know is a planet very important to the Jedi, obviously. So it's great to see that place and what it's mean moving forward. It's showed up in a lot of other books and comics. We see the beginnings, or more, not the beginnings, but more formation of the Rebel Alliance as an official alliance, I guess. More troopers. I love my troopers. So we have Death Troopers, we have the Short Troopers, which are my favorite design, and the Tank Troopers. So three new trooper designs, all very different, all real awesome. I'm sure if you look back there somewhere in my collection, you'll see them. They might be a little bit lower, but some great troopers added to canon. We've seen Death Troopers, of course, in Mandalorian Season 1. We saw them in Rebels. Did we see them in Rebels? Hmm. I want to say, where did we see? When am I seeing Death Troopers in animation? Maybe it was even on in Resistance. So just let me know. Hyperspace tracking, which comes to play in The Last Jedi, was mentioned here. U-Wings, like I mentioned, are underrated, but it's a new ship design in Star Wars that we've seen in the Battlefront game, not Battlefront, in the Squadrons game, and also on the Alexander Freed Alphabet Squadron novels. Also, the U-Wings makes an appearance. And I believe it's the first movie where we get an actual mention of kyber crystals. We've heard about them in Clone Wars. I don't think any movie had mentioned kyber crystals till Rogue One, so great canon addition. Then emotional beats. As a father, every time Galen Erso referred to Jean Erso at her Stardust, it makes me emotional, puts a tear in my eye. The hologram of the message of Galen that he gives Jean, just seeing him, just I thought that either you were so hide you too well that they won't find you, or you're dead. I hope that you see this. My Stardust, everything I did for you. Your mother will be so proud. I miss you. I'm like Jean. I'm sobbing in that scene. It's a great emotional scene. Like we said, Base and Chirrut dying is very emotional, but when Jean gives K2 the blaster that we know he always wanted one, is an emotional. And K2 dying, it's we don't think droids. No one's gonna kill a droid. He's saving them, having his own free will to save them, and he dies. And at that point, it's emotional to see this droid with no facial expression. You feel that emotional connection to it. Ooh, so that's it for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So what do you guys think about Rogue One? I saw some of your comments, and we'll go back and finish up with your comments before moving forward with our show. But Rogue One, like I said, it's the first Star Wars story, the first standalone Star Wars movie that comes out. It did its job, added a lot to canon. It's a very entertaining movie. A lot of people consider this their favorite Disney Star Wars movie, and it's might be up there in my list also, which will be coming out after we've reviewed all of the movies. So yes, Rogue One, great movie. Catalyst by Del Rey Star Wars, a great book, so make sure to read it. James Lucino, which did the Darth Sidious, or the I forget. Oh, come back to me. Darth Plagueis. He did the Darth Plagueis novel, which I haven't read, but people swear by that novel, so maybe I'll read it at some point. So yes, we are finishing up our show. Thanks for everyone that came through today. Dale, Kat, Salacious, Mr. Rez, Natalie, and Michelle from Force of Light. Thank you guys for coming today. And before we head out, we have to see what you guys said out there. As always, I put out the tweets. Send me some comments or some thoughts, and I got a few rebel thoughts to go talk about before we say bye. So yes, rebel thoughts. When you tell me what you guys thought about the movies or the TV shows or anything related to Star Wars. And like we said before, today we're talking about Rogue One. So let me get some of your rebel thoughts here. And the first one comes from who else but one of my brothers. So my brother Jose, old at Runner 47, he writes. So basically, we're talking about Rogue One and what's what they love about it. And he says, as a disciple of the dark side, I love how it reestablishes Vader as a badass. So yes, at this point, last time that we saw Darth Vader, not counting in Rebels, of course, and his battle with Ahsoka, it's Darth Vader in A New Hope fighting Obi-Wan, right? So he's not the most mobile, he's not really doing a lot. But here in Rogue One, like we mentioned, one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars is that hallway scene with Darth Vader. And this movie does that for us, gives us that badass Darth Vader that we wanted to see in Revenge of the Sith, that we didn't get to see, at least with the armor. We do see it here in Rogue One. So yes, thank you at Runner 47. Jose Calderon, my brother, eldest brother, is the eldest. I won't ever let him forget that. All right, and our second rebel thought comes from fan of the show, Kyber Kenobi. So at King Kyber, Kyber Kenobi, CEO of the 501st Legion, at King Kyber says, watched it a couple days ago, still as perfect as when I first watched it. So yes, King Kyber, like I said, really enjoyed this movie when it came out. It went down a few notches afterwards just because of all the conversation around it and comparing it to Force Awakens. But then after that, I just say I'm just going to enjoy it my own way, and this movie keeps creeping up. Rogue One is a great addition to Star Wars. It's a great movie. I'm very excited that you still love it. And let's finish one more thought from our friend Salacious Rom saying Rogue One was incredible. I think it's my favorite Disney movie, although The Force Awakens was special too. Force Awakens was special in a lot of ways, and we will discuss all those ways when we talk about it soon. But all right, so that brings an end to our show, Radio Rebellion. This is our 15th episode for season 2, I believe. So we're around 45 episodes in total, creeping on those 50 episodes for our show in 5 weeks. Next week, we will be talking about the original Star Wars movie, the one that started it all, A New Hope. I'll make the comment right now, you guys might not like this, that I have still to see Rogue One and then sit back down and watch A New Hope right after it. I know everyone has done it. I haven't done it. I'm going to watch A New Hope tomorrow. So it'll be a week between each movies, and that's the closest that I've seen them. So I am sorry, but it still works. So next week, we'll be discussing Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian and also doing our rewind of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So make sure to join us next week. As always, make sure that you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at Radio Rebel Pod. We also have an email address at Radio Rebel Pod. Sorry, it's not at. You don't add email. So Radio Rebel Pod at Gmail, in case you guys want to send us a longer message on Gmail, you can do it there. Follow us on Twitter, like I mentioned, Instagram. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to do it now. Just hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Make sure that you go on Apple Podcasts or any of our favorite podcasts out there. Make sure you're following us there, Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. Leave us a review. You can follow my personal account at Tweets by AC if you don't want to hear me talk Star Wars, but I just talk Star Wars there also and some other stuff. But make sure you're following us everywhere. Thanks for Geeky Waffle for joining us for the last 15 seconds. It doesn't matter. Leia lying to Vader hits so different. It does hit different because 2 seconds ago, you saw her. You saw her leave on that shuttle out there, and she's lying. That's why Leia's a badass, but it doesn't matter. Liars in all of Star Wars. It is very so. You have that's Star Wars on one side, hope on the others. From a certain point of view, you might be considered liars. Make sure to follow Geeky Waffle. They have their Mandalorian review show in a few at 8. I was there last week. We had a lot of fun. So this week, I'm sure it's going to be great. I'll be tuning in if I have time. If not, I'll do the replay later. Like I mentioned, also check out Force of Light, the review on Mandalorian. Salacious Ron, make sure you're following him also on Twitter and YouTube. Everyone, just follow everyone. This is everyone loves everyone here. So drunk fun. It was a little bit drunk fun last week. All right, so I'm out of time. So I'll end it before an hour and a half. So stay safe, be safe. Mr. Force be with you.